Hey there, everybody. Shell Brodnax here with another episode of Stager Talk. And this is a Meet the Candidates edition. We are talking to Barrinuevo. He is from Toronto, Canada. And we are super excited to have you on the show. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm
Now,
excited.
we're so super excited to have you. I want to introduce some other people that are here. Number one, chairperson of the board of directors, the fabulous Jacqueline Franklin.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for joining us today. And Furlough from Orlando, no, not Orlando, Lakeland, Florida. I caught it.
Hi, everybody.
Got to know my geography. Welcome. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
And the fantastic, the wonderful, the heart of RESA, the woman is about what RESA is about, Minol Shamreen from Texas. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Hi, Red.
Hi.
So these are all fantastic board of directors. Minol has been on the board now for how many years? This is your second or third?
Yeah.
Second full year.
Mm-hmm.
Jacqueline, this is your second full year.
Yes.
Annie, this is your first year.
Number one. Yep.
There you go. All right. So we all know leadership is super important at RESA, and we want to have the candidates be able to give them an opportunity to talk about themselves and what the platform they're running on, so the members can get to know them. Because as we all know, voting, it's super important. You should do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. All right.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to get the ball rolling here. So Red, I know I've known you, it feels to be like forever and a day, but can you tell everybody else just how long have you been in the real estate staging industry?
You know what? I started my business in 2010, and I think I was a member of RESA. I joined RESA in 2011 or 2011. Yeah, so it's been almost 12 years.
It's incredible.
It is incredible. It's super exciting. I'm like still super excited, and I just love working in the real estate. I love it.
Awesome.
So I just have a question for you too. So what got you into the staging industry? Like, what kind of education do you have, or designations? Like, why are you with us?
You know what? Honestly, when I started, I didn't even know that I was staging back then. Because when I moved to Canada, I was a pharmaceutical rep in the Philippines before moving to Canada. And when I moved to Canada, I just, that time I'm still renting and like on one apartment to the other, moving. And I make sure that every time that I'm moving to some a place, I made it really pretty. I made it really nice. And it always ends up as being the showroom for the building. Kind of thing, right? And then other friends start noticing it too. Like the people that I met in Toronto when I was starting, like they wanted me to do their apartments as well or their house as well. And people asking me for help, like when they're selling their property. And then I realized it started as like for friends of friends, to the point that I don't even know whom I'm working anymore. And so I decided, you know what, that's a light bulb moment for me. And I decided, and then I read an article about home staging back then, and then I realized that I have to make it as a professional business, so that way I can kind of get more people and expose to get more work, and to totally understand what's happening in the real estate industry and home staging kind of thing. So yeah, and back then I was still working for a bank. So what I used to do is I work for a bank from 8 to 5, and then I will stage from 5 in the afternoon until whatever, like the following day, and then go back to work again at 8 o'clock in the morning. For 2 years I did that, because I want to make sure that before I resign from my bank work, that the staging side is already happening. And because we still have to pay rent, and we have to pay bills, and we have to pay everything, right? So I kind of made it work for 2 years until I decided, you know what, I can't handle the workload anymore. I have to choose. And I definitely chose staging. So that's how it started. And I remember that time I'm using my lunch break as my consultation hour. Like I don't tell clients that I'm working for a bank. If they don't ask, I won't tell.
I worked in banking too. I know what that's like.
You know what it sounds like? You know what, when you do like behind the scenes at like VH1 and they talk to the rock stars and they say, how long have you been grinding before you got successful?
Exactly.
You Google your nose and it happens. This is like one of those stories. It's like, no, wait a minute. It wasn't just successful overnight in staging. I had to hustle for a while. That's awesome.
I did, and it's a bit of a challenge. The saving grace for me is because I enjoyed staging so much, and I'm willing to sacrifice like my time to make it work. And I guess it's true for everything.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So I have been following Red on social media for a few years now. I mean, I love his work. It's amazing. And yeah, and I really admire how you've been a leader in just advocating real estate, real estate staging industry, I should say. And, I always see you telling the realtors or, promoting it, saying how much value it brings to staging. So I've seen you be a great leader at that on social media platforms. So I'm just curious if you'd be able to speak to any other leadership roles that you've been in.
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
Any, so, how you've been a leader in just advocating all staging industry. So I was just wondering if you have taken up any other leadership roles, whether it's staging or design industry. I know you're, also heavily involved in that. So curious.
Officially, I have never had any leadership position, but I guess as far as in my local area, you're right. I try to make sure that I show brokerage firms and offices and my real estate agents, and I speak for home shows in my local area, and I try to spread awareness as much as I can. And as far as leadership, I try to even the my local designers and decorators chapters as well. So it's like an overlap of everything, right? So, but officially, I've never had, especially in RESA, and that's why I was thinking, after all what RESA has helped me all these years, I think this is the time to give back and to kind of share and help other stages, especially the ones who's starting.
Wonderful. So it seems like you're new to leadership. However, you've been involved in the industry for very many years, well over a decade. So can you please share some other professional contributions that you've made to the industry over your tenure?
A lot of stagers, over the years, local and US as well, has reached out to me every time, all the time. Right? They don't know how to do this. They don't know how to start. They're asking me to kind of meet them for coffee. And it kind of brings me back when I was starting, and I know how hard it is to start a business, especially if you don't know what you're doing. When it's given for everybody that, we love staging homes, we love decorating, we have the talent for it. But the business side is the more challenging part. At least for me when I was starting, because I don't know where to go, right? So right now, there's a lot of people reaching out, and I usually meet them, to be honest, and I usually reply to them. And some people will say, why are you replying to them? Why are you giving ideas, or why are you helping them? That's your competition. It's in the same location. But to be honest, I always think that there's enough for everybody, right? I mean, my goal is to kind of help them and make them better so that the whole industry in my area gets better and we can charge more.
Right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Yeah.
That's how I see it. And as I've said, I mean, I've reached out to so many people before when I was starting, and I think it's a handful who has really replied to me. So I don't want to be that person. As I've said, if I can share anything, even with my employees, they come to me as an employee and they leave us a stager, I don't mind. If I can help one person to better their lives, that's something that I am really proud of, and I really love. So that's why I said joining the board of director, or joining RESA now in a bigger scale, will allow me to like help more. Like
Absolutely.
probably like
Pay it forward.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
it's interesting what you just said. I loved when you said, you know, there's enough for everybody. And I will attest to this. I've been in this industry for 20 years. I know a lot of leaders. Hundreds of people have come through this association. Not one of them, I mean, who's a true leader, has the wherewithal within their soul to say, I'm just going to go out and crush everybody and just
Right.
disseminate everybody and take it all for myself. Nobody does that. And as soon as you said that, everybody on here is like, yes, we all get it. So we know you clearly are an influencer. You're award-winning stager through the RESA awards you've won in the past. So you've influenced so many people. Who has influenced you? Who's influenced your design, your business aspect of your business?
You know what, for me, the leadership part is I remember like my first 2 years, I don't know if you know this, but I always talk to Laura Kim, the LKP.
Yes. Okay.
Like I met her on LinkedIn. Right? And from then on, I was like always reading her posts and all this. And she has a strong voice in terms of like pricing, like how do you run your business? How do you deal with real estate agents? Because I have no idea. I know what I don't know. I just all I need to do, all I want to do is create beautiful homes, right? But I don't know like how should I deal with this? Contracts, agreements. And every week I will bug her. I do. And I'm so like happy that she's one of the people, one of the stagers who actually gave me like all the details. And this is what you should do. Sometimes I'll call her over the phone. And that's why when I first met her in the first RESA convention in 2013, I was just so happy. And it was like, for me, that was the time that, you know, you feel so that you belong and you are with everybody who thinks the same, who works the same. And that's why she is just amazing to me. She's just unbelievable.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, we miss her. We miss her a lot.
We do. She was my mentor as well. I haven't met her. I could not meet her, but yeah, she is amazing. She was like a virtual mentor to me as
Right?
well.
And I like her that she's so straightforward. She's not scared of anything. She will say what she has to say. And I was like, can I say that? Like,
Yeah, very encouraging to especially a newbie. And just for doing something, she had sent me a Starbucks card. So I really know how much she influenced people and encouraged people.
That's why we have an award named after her.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Great. So can you tell us, Red, really briefly about a challenge or a struggle? Like as a leader, one of the things that we have to do is to help others overcome the struggles and the challenges they experience in their business. Can you share an experience of your own that's really like poignant to your like overall evolution as a stager?
You know what? Running a business is already a struggle. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
Right? Every day there's always something new. Like when you think that you're comfortable and you know what's going on, something will happen. And you learn from it, right? For me, one of the struggles that I have, the biggest struggle is capital, because I didn't have money when I started staging. I started staging with $1,200. That's it.
Wow.
Right? And coming from a divorce and coming from I'm all over the place, right? And I said I have to make my last $1,200 worth it. So I have to invest into something that I really believe in, I'm really passionate about. And that's how I decided, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do. And from that 1,200, it's almost like this 2 million now, like with all the inventory, 3 warehouses, like all the properties we stage. And even up to now, right? Like, because as I've said, I didn't start with a big money, a big capital.
Right.
And that's what other stagers are saying. Do I have to have 100,000 or 150,000 to do this? Or I always keep on telling them, you don't. I actually started with nothing. And after 10 years, actually after 5 years, the business took off. and I was able to buy my own inventory. Right? You just have to. It's going to be a challenge for sure, but it's something that you can figure out if you want to figure it out. If you're really
Exactly.
putting, willing to put your hard work and be more artistic about it and more creative about it, it can happen. So that's a challenge. Like when I was starting, and I thought I was thinking because like there are 200 stages in Toronto when I started. And
Okay.
a lot of them have like beautiful furniture, like big inventory, like very established. And I told myself, don't look at them. Don't compete with them because it's not fair for yourself, right?
True.
Compete with yourself. Like, what my goal there back then is like to make my work better than the last time.
Yes.
That's what I set myself on,
Yeah.
right? I don't want to look at somebody else's website or what are they doing,
Mhm.
or because it just scares me when I started like the first 5 years and it's not helping me. So I said, okay, challenge, don't compare yourself with everybody else. Just compete with yourself. And then afterwards, the business grew, right? And I was able to have my own office. We already have a warehouse. We have inventory. The next one is like, should I get employees? Or like, can I afford a full-time designer or stager or movers?
Mhm.
So, and I jumped in again. I said, like, you know what? I'm already here. I'm taking chances. I might as well, calculate risk. The business is running anyways, right? So those are the challenges. One of the best challenges. If you again, probably it depends on how big you want your business to grow. But
True.
for me, those are the main challenges that I have to overcome and that I have to brave to kind of reach more people and to kind of make the business grow.
So absolutely true, and so relevant to so many people probably watching today and people in the membership. Like, it's a common experience, and what you were saying that stands out the most. Don't compete with other people. Compete with
Why
yourself.
not?
Set your own benchmarks and just try to do better and improve with each project. That's so critical.
Yeah, and
And
it's a
I love
waste of time. I feel like if you're comparing yourself with others, it gets too stressful.
Mhm.
You kind of like ruin your creative, like whatever desire you have, and you
Right.
feel defeated, and you just feel like a loser. So why would you do it? Why would you do that to yourself?
Right.
Yeah, I love that. So, Red, in working with groups of people,
Mhm.
people have opinions and they vary and they don't always agree. So,
Yes.
what do you think is the best approach when you're trying to make decisions as a group to be able for everybody to make the decision that's best for the group rather than your own personal? Because sometimes we say, well, this is
Yeah.
what I think, this is what's right for me, but is that what's right with you really right for the group?
Yeah.
So how do you reconcile that?
You know what? To begin with, everybody, like all of us, are like passionate designers, and we are very passionate to do everything that we do, right? And I think to come up with a group decision, it is important to hear everybody out. We have to put everything out there. We have to brainstorm. We have to like, it's normal and it's natural that we have disagreements because we all think differently, right? But the bottom line is we are working on a common goal. That's
Absolutely.
what I was thinking. And even if we do have like, for example, like differences, for sure we'll have overlaps where we will agree on something, right? So then maybe we can pick it up from there. Like whatever the overlap is, or the factors that we agreed on, is something that we can work on, right? Another thing too is like sometimes this is from experience. I'm talking with like my team and when we're brainstorming, because just because you're the owner of the company doesn't mean somebody else doesn't have a better idea than yours,
Right.
right? So I'm not
Right.
like proud to kind of dismiss everybody, like somebody, because I'm like the president and the CEO. No, I don't work that way. If you have a better idea that's better than mine, let's do it.
Yep.
Right? I'll support it. And because at the end of the day, as I've said, this is and geared to a common goal, which is to make everything better. And another thing that I usually do is I sit on it. Like, you don't have to decide right away. Sometimes you just have to give everybody time to think about things,
Right.
right? Because I don't have to decide, okay, we have to decide right now, right this hour, because
And sometimes
it
you
is
could be
what it is.
You could be emotional about it, and then once you have
Yes,
time
exactly.
to think about it, then it's clearer. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as I've said, everybody's so passionate with all this, right? So sometimes in the spur of the moment or the heat of the moment, things happen. That's why I always say, you know what? Let's leave it at this. Let's think about it, and then let's revisit it again. And then we can definitely kind of get a better decision if everybody's thinking well and everybody's on the right mind frame.
Absolutely love that.
Perfect.
So as we're wrapping up, I have one final question for you, and everybody just wants to know, why would you make the best candidate for this position, for this role? What makes you the best? Why should they vote for you?
Everybody, yeah, for sure. All the candidates are amazing, and everybody is willing. And this is the point of doing it: is to help everybody, right? To help all the members. And I'm think for me, I think I'm the best. I fit for the position because first and foremost, yeah, I'm, as I've said, I love helping like everybody. I love to share what I've learned so far and what I've accomplished so far. And coming from nothing to doing TV shows and appearing on this and getting paid to speak and getting paid to appear on TV. I think it's a big, like, from there to right now has so much things that happen and has so much experience that happen. And I think those are experiences that can be helpful to a lot of stagers as well. Like how to, as I've said, like there's just so much in between. So I'm trying to I'm trying to kind of work as a one of the board of directors because of that. I just want to help, and I just want to reach a lot more people and more stagers, and kind of help them in my own little way. Right?
Yeah.
If I can help a couple of like 2 people, I'll be very happy. But if I can help more, that'll be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also too that people, stagers, just so you know that you may not be connecting this, is it's one-on-one to get some one-on-one mentoring. That's great. Some coaching is great. Influence is great. But when people are stepping up into leadership roles, local board of directors, state presidents, and then the national board, these are the true leaders. They are making decisions for the industry as a whole. They're not up for their personal agenda, just as Red's saying. It's not about what he wants, not about what Shell wants, what Jacqueline wants, what Manol wants, and so on. It's about what is best for the industry. And I know often on board meetings, we all have different opinions on everything, but somehow, some way, we all come together to say, okay, it might not be exactly what I want for me personally, but that actually is the best thing for the organization as a whole. So it's awesome to work with great people that recognize that. Red, I appreciate you being on today. I know the rest of the board of directors does as well. I will speak for that, and we thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody else is, please jump in on the on these webinars. We have another one coming up at noon with Kristen Calvert, and then we have tomorrow as well with Yolanda Tillman. And then again, remember to vote. Look, if you're a RESA member and you are a stager member of RESA, that entitles you to vote for our elections. And voting starts, it's October 21st through November 1st. So as I said, voting, it's a thing. Everybody should do it. So get out to vote and look for everything in your email and on social media. Until next time, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today for another episode of Stager Talk. Bye.